So let us start with t-test for difference in mean. So here you have to test the mean of two different samples whenever the sample size here is less than 30. So that is the main requirement. So what we do is, we suppose we have two samples. One is the sample 1, another is sample 2. Suppose there are n1 elements in sample S1 and n2 elements in the sample S2, with x1 bar as the mean of first sample, x2 bar as the mean of second sample, and moreover the standard deviation and variances are also different. For this one we have standard deviation as S1, for second sample we have it as S2. So these two are samples, and moreover the samples are independent to each other. So this is the requirement here, that the two samples, they should be independent of each other. We assume that these samples are taken from normal populations. They are taken from normal populations having mean, that is mu1, and mean mu2. So in this case, your null hypothesis H0, it would be testing that the two samples, whether they are taken from the same populations or not. So that means we will check that mu1 is equal to mu2 or not. So this is the null hypothesis in this particular case. And moreover, here we also assume that the two normal populations have the same variances. That means we will check that sigma 1 square is equal to sigma 2 square and it is equal to sigma square. That means the variance of these two, they are same, and moreover this is not known to us in the very starting. That means we have no information regarding what is the variance of these two populations. So for this we use t-test, which is given by t is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by s square root of 1 divided by n1 plus 1 divided by n2, where what is this n1, n2, that you already know, x1 bar, x2, that you already know. So how do you calculate this s? This s is calculated, the square of it is calculated in fact by the formula n1 minus 1 into s1 square plus n2 minus 1 into s2 square divided by n1 plus n2 minus 2. So this is the formula. Here the distribution has how many degrees of freedom? So in this case we have the degree of freedom as n1 plus n2 minus 2. So this is the degree of freedom in this particular case. So moving further, let's see a question here. The question is, the following random samples are measurements of the heat producing capacity of specimens of coal from two mines. So we are given two mines having different observation. In the first mine the observations are 5. In the second mine the observations are 6. So we are to test the difference between the means of these two samples at 1% level of significance. So this is the question over here. For the solution, what we will do, we will first calculate now the raw data is given to you. The data in the first sample, data in the second sample is given to you. So what do you require in order to compute this? So the first step as always is to set your hypothesis. So what would be hypothesis in this case? Your null hypothesis would be, we wanted to check whether there is any difference between means. So we will, in the null hypothesis, assume the means to be equal. In the alternative hypothesis, we assume the means to be different, right? So these are your hypotheses. So from here you may note that this is two-tail test, right? So after doing this, after setting this, we wanted to test this for level with a level of significance. How much? 1%. And in this case, what would be your degrees of freedom? So in this case, what is your N1 and what is your N2 that is required? So if you see, we have 5 members with us as N1. So your N1 in the first sample, so your N1 is 5, N2 is 6, because there are 6 members present in the second sample. So therefore degrees of freedom is given by N1 plus N2 minus 2. So what is N1? That is 5. What is N2? That is 6 minus 2. So in this case you have 9 degrees of freedom, right? And you wanted to test it at 1% level of significance. So 1% level of significance in two-tail, that means whole of your region, critical region, would be divided into two portions, one on the left and one on the right. So that means your 1%, this shaded portion would combine together to form 1% of the region. So that means this would be 0.5% region and this would be 0.5% region. So in order to determine the tabulated value, we will use this level of significance with 9 degrees of freedom, right? So next step is you wanted to compute your t statistic. So the formula for computing the t statistic is given by x1 bar minus x2 bar divided by s square root of 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2, right? So for that we require x1 bar, x2 bar and s. So first of all, let us compute all these quantities. So what would be your x1 bar? So for the first sample, you have the data values as 8260, 8130, 8350, 8070 and then you have 8340. So these are the 5 values. So your x1 bar, that would be given by summation all the xi's divided by the total quantities, that is 5. So what you do, you add up all these values and divide that by 5. So you will obtain 8230 as the mean of first sample. And next we will compute the standard deviation for this, or the variance for this. So here the formula again is, you already know the formula. What is that? For computing s square, we have the formula 1 by n minus 1 summation xi minus x bar whole square. So when you compute the standard deviation in this first sample, it would the variance, so it would come out to be y 15750, right? And here obviously n is equal to, so let me call this as n1, right? N1 is equal to 5. So all these values are there. So from here you obtain x1 as 8230. Now we do not yet know what is s, but we know what is n1, that is 5, right? So now next let us move on to the second sample. For the second sample, we have the data values as 7950, 7890, 7900, and then we have 81440, and then we have 7920, and then we have 7840. For this, your mean x2 bar would be again be calculated by summing all the data values divided by 6, right? That because here your n2 is 6. So in this case, the value of x2 bar come out to be 7940. So we have the value here as 7940. N2 is 6. So we have this value. Now this s is remaining. For that, first of all, we'll calculate what is s2 square, right? The variances in the second case. So this is calculated by computing 1 by n2 minus 1 into summation xi minus x bar whole square. So when you compute this, you will have the value 10920. So this is S2, this is S1, right? This is S1 square. So what do we require? We require S. So how do we calculate S? You have the formula of S square, that is n1 minus 1 into S1 square plus n2 minus 1 into S2 square divided by n1 plus n2 minus 2. So what is this quantity? When you compute this, it come out to be equal to 13066.7. You may check this, and corresponding to this, when you take the square root of this quantity, you have 114.31. So this is the value that we require in our formula. So 114.31 would come up here in place of S. So we have 114.31 here. So when you solve this, you have the value 4.19. So this is your calculated value of t. Calculated value. So next we are to determine our tabulated value. So what would be your tabulated value? For that we have to again refer back to the table with 9 degrees of freedom and the level of significance as 5%. But because we are having two-tailed test, so we will look for, I'm sorry, here it is not 5%, it is 1%. Okay, so here we will look for 0.5% level of significance. So 0.5 level of significance means we will look for the value of t 1 minus 0.005 into 9. So it would be t 0.995 into 9. So let's have a look. For 9 degrees of freedom, at this much level of significance, our value is 3.25. Yes, our value is 3.29. So it is equal to 3.25. So your critical region would look something like this. So this value would be plus 3.25, this value would be minus 3.25. This is your critical region here. So according to that, your tabulated value is, calculated value is which one? 4.19. So let us compare the values here. 4.15 would lie somewhere here, right? So that means it will lie in the region of rejection, the critical region. So therefore, what you will do, you will reject the null hypothesis. If you reject the null hypothesis, that means you will accept the alternative hypothesis. And alternative hypothesis in this case is the mu1 is not equal to mu2. So therefore, we will conclude that. So on conclusion, if you look at the statement, what did they ask? They asked you that compare the difference between the means of two samples at 1% level of significance. So therefore, we will say the average of these two samples is not same. The average is not same for two samples, right?